Hi, this is Mark Graben. Welcome to the KaiNexus podcast. And today we're going to be joined by one of the two co-presenters for our webinar that's going to be held on September 15th, 1 o'clock Eastern. It's titled Leading with Respect, Standard Work for Frontline Leaders. You can register for that by going to kainexus.com/webinars. And if you are listening to this after September 15th, you'll be able to find the webinar in our on-demand library or here in the podcast feed or on our KaiNexus YouTube channel. But our two presenters are going to be Didier Rabino. He's a client advisor for value capture. And we're actually joined today by his co-presenter, Jen Ashley. She is a Care Center Site Supervisor for practice design with Sutter Health. So Jen, thank you for joining us. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing well. Thank you, Mark, for having me.
Yeah, and thank you again in advance for doing the webinar. And before giving a quick preview of what you'll be talking about, can you give a little bit more background into your professional life and how you got involved with Lean, perhaps?
Yeah, absolutely. My journey in healthcare has been with Sutter Medical Foundation. I've been with Sutter for almost 12 years now. And I love talking about my journey with Sutter. I've actually started from the front line. I was a front desk PSR, checking in patients, and also work in the call center. And I've gradually moved up. I moved up to a surgery scheduler, then a care center lead, and now a supervisor. And I'm actually co-leading in-person flow and practice design with my organization and co-leading with directors. I'm very honored about and excited to share my journey because it does give those frontline staff the encourage and excitement that they could, to, if they have that dream to get into leadership, that is available out there.
So great. And so Jen, it sounds like you said, you're involved in practice design, and then there's the ongoing management of clinics and other types of organizations. So that's where it seems like the concept of leader standard work comes into play as part of that, correct?
That is correct, yeah. A lot of organizations and leadership, they do have a leader standard work that they follow, but this webinar will be a little bit different. It's not going to be just talking about a piece of paper that you need to follow and walk around with and making your checks and making sure you're doing everything. Here we're going to really be talking about is the purpose of the leader standard work and what really matters and what you're trying to achieve when you're following this, and also following the leader as leading with respect for your staff as well. So
in the webinar, you'll, since this is a teaser, everybody won't get the whole story here today, but you'll explain what's meant by, or what are some examples of leading with respect? That
is correct. Yes, we will.
You mentioned, I think you raised a really good point there, that standard work is not just the piece of paper or the documentation. That probably applies to frontline staff and frontline leaders. What would you say is the risk of somebody really just sort of treating it as a static piece of paper or a checklist? What are some of the problems that might occur?
Having following not just the piece of paper, but actually doing the work and reviewing what really matters really encourages your teams to develop and grow. It also influences them to have the confidence to kind of lead their own team as well. It kind of gives them the opportunity to take charge of their work and feel that they have some ownership of what they're doing as well. So again, it's not just for the leader to confirm what's happening in their care centers and be leading that team, but it also gives that honor back to the staff and confidence and ability to take charge of what they're doing and have a voice in that.
Yeah, and everything you're bringing up there makes me think of the mindsets and the leadership behaviors that go beyond the piece of paper. And it sounds like one of the things you'll be exploring in the webinar, right?
Correct. Absolutely. It's definitely having that professional safety and having staff and even your clinicians that you work with, having a voice and to be able to express what's working and what's not, and coming up with ideas to experiment or try different things.
That's great. Well, Jen, I'm looking forward to hearing more from you and Didier during the webinar on Tuesday, September 15th. And for the listeners here, again, that webinar is titled Leading with Respect, Standard Work for Frontline Leaders. So as the learning objectives say here, you'll be able to explain the frontline leaders' role and responsibilities, and you'll be able to define processes and tools to help support the frontline leader standard work. So again, you can register for that or find the recording, depending on when you're listening to this, at kinexus.com/webinars. If you are registering in advance, you'll see it right in the middle of the main page. If you're looking for the recording, go to the right-hand side of the page. You'll see the on-demand library. So Jen, thank you for taking a little time to give a bit of a preview of the webinar. Thanks for being here today.
Oh, thank you for having me. Thank you.